Oh dear. Sorry. Sorry, Bing. Apologies. He's still going. I didn't think this through. Hi, everybody. How's it going? It's very nice to see you. My name is S.J. McCardle. Welcome to First Tuesdays. This is our monthly live stream show. Bing's still going in the background. If he could get any more annoying. We have a lovely show lined up for you this evening. I have a fantastic special guest. And he is a Drogheda man, like myself. And it's great on so many levels to have him with us tonight. So, lots of news tonight, various things to talk about, upcoming events and all that kind of stuff. So we will get to it now in a second. I'll start off with a song as ever. This is a song called Short Term Thing. And yeah, here we go. This will get us going. I hope that you're all well. I hope that, it's not too rainy where you are. As always, let me know if there's any issues with streaming quality or sound or that kind of thing. Okay, we'll put him in there in case he starts singing again. Okay, here we go. There's a beach right by my house and a strange sun in the sky and a song that I don't recognize whistled by a passerby. And this country's not our home, though it treats us like its sons. We are alone among the people here. We're not the only one. Put away that scrapbook, child. You can make yourself believe that you'll finish what you started here. You'll be home by Christmas Eve. My brother's still at home, and I ought to keep in touch, but I'd only lie about it, and it doesn't mean that much, though it beats just keeping on in a land that eats its young. We should be grateful, friend, that we got out. I know our tongue. Put away that scrapbook, child. You can make yourself believe that you'll finish what you started here. You'll be home by Christmas Eve. Put away that scrapbook, child. You can't make yourself believe that you'll finish what you started here. You'll be home by Christmas. Be home by Christmas. All right. Thank you. So yeah, the grand stretch in the evenings is kind of gone now. So it's time to pull out the Christmas themed material, I think. How many shopping days have we got, I wonder? Anybody calculate that for us as we're streaming away? How many shopping days we have left till Christmas? So there you go. Hi, Tina. Good to see you too, Tina. I hope that all is well over in Germany with you. Very nice to see you. Thank you for coming along. So yes, we have a very special guest tonight who I'll be introducing in a few minutes' time. A couple of things before that though. So the album came out on the 1st of July and we have live streamed since then. I know the reception has been extraordinary. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you everybody who's bought it from the Bandcamp store, which I think is linked in the description there, and anyone who's streamed it and played it on the radio and reviewed it in the papers and all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So the first single off the album was a song called All for the Sale and Tomorrow. The next single off the album is out next week and it is called The Brig Manly. And I'm going to sing that for you now. The Brig Manly, the Manly was a little coal boat from Newport that ran aground at Bettystown, just outside Drogheda in the 19th century. And what was interesting about the story wasn't just the wreck. It was that the lifeboat, Drogheda's lifeboat at the time, which was based out in Baltray, out in Queensborough, they got, they mustered who they could, but because of the awful conditions, they couldn't get a full muster. And as a result, they couldn't reach the brig and they lost 6 of the 7 souls on board. And the lifeboat crew did very badly out of it. They were accused of cowardice and all sorts afterwards. So this is kind of their story as much as anything else. Okay. Brig Manly. Okay, here we go. The recorded version is quite dramatic. It's got uilleann pipes and massed choruses and all that kind of stuff. So, use your imagination a bit. Okay, here we go. And after this, we'll see. Okay, The Brig Manly, here we go. Let me tell you a story with an unhappy ending of the Brig Manly and its crew. The storm was raging, the likes of which we'd never seen before, around our lifeboat station, and we were called to the fray. Mustered at station, we answered the call, and we rode into the dark and howling gale. There were 3 on our crew that night. We were 3 miles from Queensborough. We were 3 minutes from our fate when the captain called. Brig Manly, badly beaten in the wind, bruised and shaken, had run aground on its lee. The crew in blind panic had shinned the rigging to escape the grasping hands of the furious sea. Heard them calling from the ratlines and shrouds, but we just couldn't fight the vicious tide. There were 3 on our crew that night. We were 3 miles from Queensborough. We were 3 minutes from our fate when the captain called. Turn around, boys, the tide's too strong. Turn around, boys, this feels all wrong. Turn around, boys, we'll perish here. Turn around, boys, there's no shame in fear. Turn around with everything you've got. Turn around. voices faded, as with heavy hearts we made our way home, and the brig surrendered its crew to the sea. And they cursed us for cowards in the streets and in the papers, and the harbour board called for redundancy. And I still hear their voices whenever I rise, and I wake up calling, turn around. Newport coal in transit due, 7 young sailors, stout-hearted and true, 6 in the shrouds in 5 minutes undone, forsaken 3 miles to shore, and the race is hard won. There were 3 on our crew that night. We were 3 miles from Queensborough. We were 3 minutes from our fate, and the captain called, turn around. Now, that'll cheer you up on a Tuesday evening. So, yes, here we are then. Tina, counting my days coming back to Ireland. Excellent, Tina. You're more Irish, I'd say, than some Irish people I know, I would guess. Great. Brilliant to hear that. There's Anita. Beautiful. Thank you, Anita. I appreciate that very much. Thanks a lot. Really pleased with this album. It's a funny little album, and it's nice that it's doing okay out in the world. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to Drogheda Art Centre, which is where my heart lives a lot of the time, and I went to see an amazing evening of music. It was a thing called Welcome to Ballsgrove, which is an album, a brand new album, and a film by a magnificent Drogheda songwriter called Seán Mathews, and we'll get more information about it from Seán himself rather than me wittering on about it. But it was an extraordinary night, and I'm very pleased and honoured to have Seán with us this evening. I'll beam him in now. I hope you're not picking your nose or anything, Seán. Hey! Oh, hold on, I have to put on my headphones. How's it going?
All's good. I'm glad you played The Breach Manly. That's my favourite song on the album.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
thanks.
I was going to mention that, and I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the next single, but my wife said that's the one, so I said okay.
You sent it home beautifully with the arrangement,
Steve.
I think. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So I think if people check the description there, I always say this and I'm usually wrong, but I think if people check the description, you'll see a link there to Seán's website, which will give you a chance to purchase the new album. But in the meantime, Seán, in a nutshell, tell us a little bit about the first song that you're going to play for us this evening.
Well, the first song I'm going to play is it was the seed of an idea when I recorded my first album in 2018. I played it at the launch, but I'd been toying with the idea for a time before. See, I'd gone through this phase of battling to get my own house, and but I also came across people who had worked with friends of mine who are from Stony Batter, and they were saying that the only chance they would have buying a home now where they grew up is if their parents die, and I was just like, I know that's kind of a grim topic, but the that's gentrification, I guess you could call that.
Yeah.
But I think the idea I just thought was exclusively a Dublin thing until kind of after that, and the last few years, I realised it was happening where I grew up, and it was a Drogheda thing where you can't necessarily choose where you live because it's a tough one. Like, and I guess our Jack, this song from the album, kind of covers that angle from people who have moderate incomes. They can't all get mortgages, and it's pretty unfair, especially if they're very well educated, and Jack was, and that's you'll hear
fabulous.
It in the song.
I love this song, and people might know this because this song was on the RT Radio 1 playlist. So
it was, and it spent most of August there, and I'm very grateful. It was
yes,
brilliant to know.
Nice when the good guys win, Sean.
Absolutely. A boy, a pioneer, an ex-head of year, such a good young lad with a decent career. Jack went to college and got a first-class degree. Now he finds it so hard just to make two ends meet. Squeezed in the middle with nowhere to go, he lives in a chalet at the back on his own. And his girlfriend is lovely, she comes from Mayo. She's the love of his life and they both want a home. So glad that we're happy, so glad we've a help. There once was a time when we could increase our wealth. We feel like downsizing, but it's a devil that we know. We're caught in the middle with nowhere to go. And now Jack is pretending he is happy now with all that he has. It's all that we have, and we'll pretend that we don't know. We know it's a lie, but we've got to try. La-dee-da-da-da-doo-da-da-dee-da-da-da-doo. 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 La-dee-da-da-da-doo-da-da-doo. We are decent people, we look after our own, and we love it in Ballsgrove, it's all we have known. But there's holes in our boat now, it's fairly well rocked. We'll say it's okay when we know that it's not. We look at the chalet and we hope for the best. Maybe Jack will get lucky and the banks will say yes. There's no intervention from the people in the door. We're caught in the middle and they fail us all. And our Jack is pretending he is happy now with all that he has. It's all that we have, and we'll pretend that we don't want more. We know it's all lies, but we've got to try. La-dee-da-da-da-doo-da-da-dee-da-da-da-doo. La-dee-da-da-da-doo-da-da-dee-da-da-da-doo. La-dee-da-da-da-doo-da-da-doo.
God, man, what a song! Oh, that's amazing. It's such a great song. Like it's got such like heft and punch to it, but it's a banger too, which is a lovely it's a lovely combination. Some nice comments coming in here. There's Emer O'Kane, puts it very well. Emer was there on the night too, actually. Thank you for that, Emer. There's Emer King. Got my copy of both albums recently, and they're just class. Drogheda Gold.
Oh,
well done.
Thanks,
Emer.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Emer. Thank you for buying music, Emer.
Yeah.
I give my kids money to give to buskers because they have to understand that you have to pay for music.
It's the circular economy, isn't that?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's Jennifer Riley. Amazing, Sean. She says.
Thanks, Jen.
Lovely. So so I mean, for the uninitiated, tell us a little bit about Welcome to Ballsgrove, about the album and the film.
I think everybody thinks, you know, where they come from is a special place, you know, home, and I spent all my childhood there, and like I think what made it special for me was kind of what makes it special for everyone, really, just formative childhood experiences crafting who you are. But when you look back on them, and you look back on all these people and characters, you realise like you've got like the most sincere story of all, really. And I think with the film though, with the film I chose to also to kind of craft Drogheda in a really positive light, because like I was kind of like treading, you know, a lot of us were treading murky water on social media during the pandemic and everything, and I decided that like if it was going to include people from Ballsgrove, like the whole thing was a mistake in the first instance. We went and done a secret gig in June, and we said we would do something where we would just speak to the residents and see, like friends of people I knew, and just see if we could get like a little bit of sound bites from them that we could maybe use, because we were filming the secret gig. But like we were rolling around the place laughing, and I was like, it's an inherently kind of Drogheda humour, you know. And I was like, you know, it's never presented in the light that I would always have been comfortable with. I think some like Darren Thornton got really close to it, I think, when he based things here. Yeah. But I always, that's with drama though. So like, but I always felt there was this sincerity that you could present. So like for me, Ballsgrove was always about that. You had the yin and the yang, for want of a better way of putting it, and like. So when I approached the project, the songs, I was coming from the right place with the songs about family. There's an English song I borrowed to kind of give the idea that even though you leave, you come back to the simple things that Spencer the Rover and
it sits so perfectly thematically, I think, within that, you know, on the album, but also within the show as well. It was such a perfect little moment, like, because it is such a gorgeous image of domestic kind of healing, isn't it?
It is, and that's really what home is about. It's family. So you don't need to be from Ballsgrove, I think, to feel what I've kind of gift wrapped for you in the album. Like it's like it's easy to. Our Jack is from the perspective of a parent, you know, the helplessness, and like there's other songs that are from a perspective of a parent as well. Like Cradle of Love is about the experience of a parent. And it's based on a poem. It was inspired by a poem called St. Kevin and the Blackboard by Seamus Heaney, and I think that's something everybody. So I guess it is Welcome to Ballsgrove, but it's rooted in what we all feel, you know, as a family. And then there's parts like towards the end of the album, there was a little bit of redeeming myself, because I felt like on the first album when I done the commuter song, that it didn't end in the place I wanted it to end. And I'm sure, like, I mean, you hear Paul Brady talking about this all the time, where songs kind of eat away at him until he gets another go at them, you know. And I think for me it wasn't the case of having another go at the song, it was just to continue on the story. And with that one, the character in the first song, you know, he finds it hard. He's moving from Dublin, and he's coming from Dublin to Drogheda, and he's finding it hard to make friends. And then the commuter song part 2, it's based on someone from Ballsgrove who's travelling the other way around, going from Drogheda to Dublin. And but I slipped in the verse about how O'Donnell, joined the triathlon club, and he's happy now, and it's like a reverse happy ending. So there's a little bit of continuation from Dreaming Is Loud, the first album, and I think, but I stuck with the themes like of family and the area, and do you know what, regional towns and how they process art. That was really important to me, like, because I was raised in a way, art was in a very different place to me than it would be from say a more affluent family or a more culturally aware family. I would have had a very different upbringing when it came to art, and I wanted to get across a picture of art coming from that point of view, so that like the next little kid coming along will be like, well, I seen Welcome to Ballsgrove, and that put the wind in my sails, Yeah,
amazing. Like, I've no doubt, and I know this is something that Seán and I would have discussed quite a lot, because we're friends in the real world as well, and I've gotten to sit around a table very often with you and with guitars and talk and play and sing, and it's been amazing. But something we've talked about a lot is how when it's done well, that very essence of folk music, where it's of the people, and it touches on reality, and you end up with real names and real places, and that when it's done well, that stuff gives you the kind of that kind of sensuousness that makes it actually very universal. Like, that's the thing that makes it most universal, is the fact that it's it's embedded in something real. Like, so rather than writing about something making it feel like it's only yours, actually, when you do it really well, it actually opens it up much more than you could if you just wrote something generic with no place names and no, that actually it's what gives people a touchstone, I suppose, or I can't think of the right word, but you know what I mean. And that's something that's all over this album. And what I'll say about this album as well, for me, is that, like, I can tell lots of people, it's beautiful, it's smart, it's emotional, there's so much in it, and best of all, it's like 100% Seán. It's like a doorway. That's what I said to you in that text message. It's like a doorway into your heart, But actually, it's like when you try and describe a TV show to somebody that you love, or a movie. It's only when they watch it and they realise the characters are adorable, and that's what actually pulls you in and pulls you the whole way through it. And this album, to me, and the film actually, that's what does it. It's that there's just a sense of something in it that kind of pulls you the whole way through. You can't really talk that out. You have to just listen to it. It's really so engaging. And
for us, SJ, for you, doing what you've done with All Ghosts in the Water, and what I've done here, Welcome to Ballsgrove, like, we're not like pioneers here. I mean, like, Sheil mentioned Ballsgrove in his song in the 1830s, and I'm sure he mentioned Somewhere on the Docks as well. So, like, we're following, like, what you were on about with folk music, and the kind of, like, the I guess the lenses you can look through a story before you tell it. Like, it's a very old idea, and we're just kind of trying our best to carry it along in our own way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's not because it's not a very deliberate thing either. It's just that we found this type of music that suddenly just kind of felt like home, or whatever. Like, we both played a lot of different types of music before we ended up playing folk music. Well, look, would you have another song?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. The 12-string sounds amazing.
That's good. It's been to the 12-string doctor recently, and I'm very happy.
He's also the 6-string doctor. He did this one as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's great. Paul Murphy, we're talking about.
Paul Murphy, the Drogheda luthier. He's a jewel.
He is.
I'm going to play a song from my first album, and The Days of Our Prime.
Oh, right.
Celebrate loss, celebrate wins, singing a ballad, singing in, hearing a verse and putting it in, levering, lowering into a tune, safety of comfort, minding myself, living the dream and having good health, being with people, being alone, no can stop us enjoying the time. These are the days of our prime. These are the days of our prime. Getting elected, winning a cup, having a firstborn, having enough, moving to somewhere, moving again, living and loving and living again, being a father, being a son, having a wedding, finding the one, joy to living, true to the dead, making the memories in our head, all in the days of our prime. All in the days of our prime.
Amazing. I love that song. It's really anthemic. So both albums are available there on that link. And can somebody actually tell me if the link is in the description? And if it's not, we'll put it up again. But I think it is. But Seán, thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. It's so brilliant to have you. There's Roisin.
Aha.
And an excellent response. Actually, that will lead us to my next question, which is what's next with you then in terms of gigs and that kind of stuff. You have some shows coming up.
I do. I've covered the northeast really with this album because I done the launch in Drogheda Arts Centre last week the weekend before, and that was brilliant, fantastic, full house, and we were booked in the Spirit Store before the launch, and so I'm thrilled to be going there, and it's going to be a full venue with everything, and Derek's reputation precedes him, so it'll be enjoyable, just from the point of view of enjoying the facilities, because I've been to a good few gigs since it was done up, and I've always said it's on the old bucket list for gigs. Oh man,
so. It's one I've played there more times than I can list, and it's one of my favourite places in the whole world. It's extraordinary, amazing, just it's one of those places where you can just feel it in the room.
Absolutely,
it's going to be a great show.
I'm looking forward to it. So that's on Thursday the 15th September, and then I have at the very end of the month on Friday the 30th September I'm in Dublin in the Cobblestone, and a lot of friends are coming to that one, the back room in Mulligan's there in Stony Batter, and I'm really looking forward to that because that room as well is it's up there, and I think with it's probably going to be quite full, and there'll be that really warm feeling you get when there's a room there to watch it. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then as far as other things along the line, I haven't really looked any further because I've been so thrilled to get those gigs that I'm concentrating on those for now, and the book's kind of half open.
Brilliant. I love it. Roisin Ward-Morrow, who is in your band for these shows, yes, or for some of them anyway. She was in the band for Drogheda.
Yeah, Roisin's in the band with Shane O'Brien and Breffney Houlihan.
Amazing.
And Roisin's going to be supporting me on those dates.
Oh, class.
And, I'm delighted because Roisin, just like a true pro, glided into the arrangements for the launch night, and Roisin also plays on a single that's the bonus track if you've bought the physical copy of the CD. I decided to omit a song to I guess to reward anyone who bought physical copies of the album.
Nice.
And that's going to be the second single, the last single coming off this album that me and Roisin have done together with Breffney. It's called Thorns and Tolls.
Oh, great song. Yeah.
And Roisin features on it, you know, fiddle, and it's a song that like so we always were hoping we could work with Roisin, but for the last gig it was just special. So yeah, and we're cooking up hopefully a special song for next week as well. We'll see how it goes.
Brilliant. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, look, folks, you can catch Seán. I've linked Seán's Facebook page. At least I think I have. Linked Seán's Facebook page and Seán's website as well in the description there, so you can click into any of those. And please do follow that, and you will not be in any way disappointed. There's Plummy. Great song, Seán. Enjoyed your first song. Actually, great show. Thank you, mate. Thanks very much for joining us. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, great. So, Seán, thank you again so much for being with us. It's just so great to have you, and especially right now, just when everything is really flying. Like, thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon. Again. See you, mate.
Yeah, nice one.
Oh, amazing, Seán Mathews. You'd be very proud of your hometown. So you would, you know, all this great talent, and good people, you know, good people. All right, brilliant. Well, look, we'll move on to the next thing, and that is a thing called the Lighthouse project, which I worked on with the aforementioned Roisin Ward-Morrow and a couple of other artists like Jackie Hudson Lawler, a painter and visual artist, Jess Traynor, a great poet, and Laura Sheeran, amazing music editor and videographer and everything else that she does. Laura is a real polymath musician and everything else. We did this thing called the Lighthouse Project, and that should theoretically also be linked here somewhere. And the idea of that is that we created, working with the Lighthouse Project and with Drogheda Art Centre, we created some new work to go on an audio trail, so you can listen into the track. The idea is that you go out to Mornington, which is the base for this one. The Lighthouse Project does these all over the country, and the lighthouse in question was Drogheda East Light, which is one of those 3 funny lighthouses out in Mornington there. So the idea is that you go out there and you listen to the audio trail as you walk out towards the lighthouse, and it's gorgeous. But you can listen to the audio trail anywhere because it just is a lovely 15 minutes of music and reflection. So I'm going to sing a song that I wrote for it, and this song actually, if you listen to the Lighthouse Project track, which is linked there, you'll hear Roisin's couple of pieces, and you'll also hear her playing on my songs too. So okay, so I'll do this, and then we'll get back into it then. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us tonight. Painted this view from the land, wiry black rail on sky. Blue is for courage and white for the light in your eye. And who is it knocking at the door of your heart as the sand shifts around your feet? Out in the darkness, fog door benighted, we cry to the lighthouse, to the sea. Still keep a light on for me. Call to your sisters in the north and the west, salvation in Scotch and Reed. Fear is a friend and a brother to all on the sea. Alone and black against the sky and the beach, far from the lights of town. Watching always for the diesel, the sail and the steam. We turn to the lighthouse, to the sea. You still keep a light on for me. It's a dark old world and a hard sea to sail, with no one to steer us right. Hidden the treacherous bar in the black of the night. Cast out in life or abandoned in love, wrecked on the rocks of hope. Rudderless blindly we seek for the blade of your light, and turn to the lighthouse, to the sea. You still keep a light on for me. To the lighthouse. There you go. Song called "To the Lighthouse," and yeah, it's on that audio trail there that you can click. So look, that's bringing us towards the end of our evening. Then a couple of other little bits of news. First of all, some of you will know that I curate a series of concerts called Solo, which live at Drogheda Arts Centre, which is the 79th time I've mentioned Drogheda Arts Centre tonight, and rightly too. There's a new series of those on the way. I'm not going to give you any details yet because Drogheda Arts Centre will release all that information in due course, but do be keeping an eye on their Facebook page because we're pretty excited about it. So there's some new stuff happening on that front. And the other thing is that Drogheda has got a great independent record shop called Big Moon Records. It is on Lawrence Street. If you have not been in, you should go in. It's a fantastic shop run by a lovely guy. And I'm doing an in-store in there on the 30th of September, Friday, September 30th at 7 p.m, right after work. So wander in, folks, and check out Jason's lovely stacks of wax and hear some songs, and maybe we'll have a bit of crack and stuff like that. So that's the next thing for me. A couple of shows to announce as well before Christmas, which I'll be giving you details of in due course as well. But that's the next one to watch out for if you're in the Drogheda area or anywhere nearby. That's going to be a really lovely evening. So Big Moon Records on Lawrence Street, an in-store in a real record shop right in our town. It's so great to have. So look, I've probably forgotten to tell you lots of things, as I always do, but I'll sing you one more song and just recap that Sean's, thank you again, Sean, for joining us. Sean, thanks so much for receiving SJ. Always a pleasure. Sean, really, the pleasure was ours. Thank you so much. So great to have you. A really important, you start going on about how important someone is as a writer, and you're terrified you're going to make it sound boring or academic. The songs are just bangers, full of heart, just lovely. Just go listen, go buy CDs. They're amazing. So thank you again, Sean, for joining us. And there's Frank Kelly too. Hi, Frank. Frank, of course, curator and organizer of the Boyne Valley International Film Festival, and a lovely guy as well. Thank you for that, Frank, for your support as always, mate. It's much appreciated. So check out Sean's stuff in the link. Did anybody check? Is the link actually in the description? If not, look, I'll put it up in comments or something afterwards. But the link should be there. Sean's online shop. The link should also be there too. Buy my record, of course, and also the link should be there to listen to the Lighthouse Project track with me, Roisin Ward-Morrow, Jess Traynor, Laura Sheeran and Jackie Hudson-Lauder did the incredible artwork that goes with it, and you'll see that if you click the link. So there you go. So right, okay, I'll finish with this then. Thanks again, everyone. And it's a song called Home. I've been doing this a lot at the end of gigs, live stream gigs and in-person gigs as well. And this goes out to all of you. And relates, I think, very much to what Sean was talking about earlier on. So God bless everybody. Be well. Keep an eye on the page, and I hope that you're all well. Thanks again for joining me. Also, if you're joining later on YouTube, welcome, and thank you for joining me there too. I always forget to say that. I apologise. So I'll leave you with this, and good night. Where did your mama go? Where did your mama go? Gone and left you all alone. Broken heart, broken home. Broken heart, broken home. where'd your mama go? Home forever, home forever. Find a place to rest those bones. Home forever, home. Little bird, where will you go? Little bird, where will you go? Beat your wings like you know how. It's all changed here anyhow. It's all changed here anyhow. You know where to go. Home forever, home forever. Find a place to rest those bones. Home forever, home. Lily plant and passion flower, lily plant and passion flower, rose of China, holly tree. Find a place where you are free. Find a place where you are free in your darkest hour. Home forever, home. Home forever, home. Find a place to rest those bones. Home forever, home. Good night. Thanks again, everybody.